Okay, did they be kind? Did they rewind? Let's see. Oh, hello there. We don't see too many people these days. Welcome to the haunted blockbuster in southeastern Ohio. I'm a Canadian. I died with late fees still existing, and instead of putting me in the Canadian blockbuster at the Damned, it was too full. Canadians never paid their bills, so they sent me off to Ohio. Nobody comes in here other than people who look like Zach Bacon. So come, don't leave. I know. You're like, oh, ghosts. Oh, don't worry. It's okay. I'm here to tell you about something. I'm here to tell you about something very important. Yes, I'm here to tell you all about a new Read and Watch-a-thon called Old School April. And I'm participating in this wonderful event with a whole slew of people. You can see them in the comments. Yes, ghosts can participate in Read and Watch-a-thons. This old haunted blockbuster, full of material. You want to talk about Carnosaur 2? No one does, but I have them, okay? Nobody has rented Carnosaur 2 in a while. Every once in a while, people come in and they're all like, oh, is this the blockbuster from that Netflix show? And it's like, no, bitch, we're a different haunted blockbuster. Go away. I don't know if that blockbuster is haunted. I never watched the show. It costs so much for Netflix these days. Anyways, let's go back to a time before Netflix, in the glory days of Old School April. I say glory days, but I hated growing up in the 80s. I didn't grow up in the 80s, but I hated growing up in the 90s, that's for sure. Times weren't the best, but the thing about times not being the best, the artwork is always wonderful. So in times of strife, artwork is outstanding. So I'm here with a beautiful array of co-hosts to do this readathon. Now, the whole theme of this readathon is a competitive match of wits and power between me and my team of Kelsi from Slime and Slashers, the inventors of this event. I've got Alex the Bookubus. I've got Elizabeth Sagewood, another Canadian on the thing. I'm glad to talk to someone from my home country because I've been stuck in Ohio for 3 months. It's awful. Nothing happens here. But yes, we are the Blue Barracudas. Now, is that a cult? I don't believe this is a cult. Can ghosts join cults? I don't know, so I'm not too concerned about it. But this is all patterned off of the game show Legend of the Hidden Temple. I believe that's what it's called. I never watched it. I've never seen an episode. They never showed that in Canada. So we're teams that were on that show, and we're Team Blue Barracudas, but there's also the Silver Snakes and the Purple Parrots. If you're wondering who's in those, look in the description. You will find all of the information you desire. But yeah, so this is a marathon and a watch-a-thon, but it's all kind of based on if you're completing various prompts that I'm about to give you, you'll get points towards your team. So you watching can join one of the 3 teams, and everything you watch, read, or participate in some of the other bonus prompts, you can use that to give points to whatever team you so desire to see win. The winning teams, the top two teams. So everyone is going to be able to participate in the slumber party, which is on the 29th, April 29th. But only the 2 top teams who have the most points are going to be kind of like having their own dueling banjos or whatever happens on Legends of the Hidden Temple. Like I said, I've never seen it. And we don't have any tapes for that show, so I have no idea. Yes, so whoever is the top 2 teams are going to duke it out on that live stream. Or whoever, I don't know why I just immediately was like, oh yeah, we're the losing team. The losing team will just kind of get to hang out and watch and just chill on the live stream. So it's good. It's just for fun. The idea of having like prompts and pendants and points, and the points are called pendants in this because apparently that's a thing that happened in Legend of the Hidden Temple. I'm just going to keep using the word points because it's way simpler than saying the word pendants. Pendants. Pirates of Pendants. So every prompt you complete, you can get a point for your team. Now, for some of these, the the prompts, you can actually probably like stack these prompts, because I know some people when you join a readathon, you will go, oh, this hits 3 of the prompts. So if you are somebody who does that, and is that something you want to do, you can actually use that to get 3 points. Now, you can only get 1 point from this, right? So you can't just be like, I'm just going to keep, like, so like if you're in like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, there was a YA series with her, that could fit into 90s, and the witch thing and the female protagonist, right? So that's like 3 prompts that I'm going to tell you about. It could fit in there, but you can't just read every one of those and just keep stacking upon stacking. There's plenty of options for points, but all the prompts, you just get points for 1. But hey, I mean, this is all for fun. That I just thought that was good to mention. And after, so there's a big live stream on the 29th, and then the day after, there's going to be closing ceremonies. And if you want to see me look like a zombie and be legitimately probably a ghost, you should show up for that, because I'm going to show up for that. But let me tell you, the freaking days after Kelsi parties, it's going cray. It's wild. So let's get through the prompts. Of course, the only important thing about all of this is to have fun. Dancing time. So, prompt number 1. Read any Goosebumps book, or read a book that fits the theme or vibe of an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? The publishing year doesn't matter. Now, I've tried to read a Goosebumps book once. It just didn't stick. I couldn't do it. I'm going to assume that this will fit in somehow with one episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? There's all kinds of weird things that happen in Are You Afraid of the Dark? I've watched a few of those episodes. Most of those were filmed in Canada, especially the 90s. Oh, they're glorious. But I've chosen Brotherkind, because I've been meaning to read Brotherkind forever. This is a classic paperbacks from hell. I know this is supposed to be bonkers weird. It's got aliens. It's got Sasquatches. It's got thoughtful beings. It's got the writing of J.N. Williamson. So you know it's going to be wild. This is all embossed, too. This cover is beautiful. I love it. Or as Katrina Brown says, embalsed. She's also in this Read-a-thon, so there you go. Read-a-thon prompt number 2. Read any horror book published or set in the 80s, or read a middle grade or YA book published or set in the 80s, or even books with just a retro vibe. So for this one, I have another book that I've been reading to read forever. So for this, I have chosen Blood Beast by Donna Massa. I just love the cover. This was published in 1988. I've been reading to read this forever. I've been meaning to read this for so long. Next up, prompt number 3. Read an animal attack book. The publishing year does not matter. I chose Rattlers for this one. Look at this Rattler. He's rude. Hey, Mr. Rattler, sir. Be nicer. Be nicer. Can you guys even see that I have the Blockbusters? Yeah, I literally have a Blockbusters uniform here. Don't worry about it. Don't ask too many questions. Read-a-thon prompt number 4. Nostalgic technology. Read a book featuring older technology on the cover or in the story. Publishing year does not matter. So I have chosen Back to Our Future by David Sirota. So this is all about the 1980s. So it's supposed to explain how our culture, our politics, and everything that happened in the 80s are applicable to the modern day. Now, of course, I believe this book is kind of older than... Yeah, so this book is not exceptionally new. It's written before the 2020s, but still, this would be interesting to read and all about the 80s. And I figured I want some kind of nonfiction thing to kind of come in. Read-a-thon, prompt 5, mood read. Now this one's to be determined because it's my mood read. I don't want to plan a mood read. That's like antithetical to mood reads, right? Okay. Prompt number 6. Read a Fear Street book or a Point Horror book or a Christopher Pike book. So it doesn't say on the cover, but I'm pretty sure this was at one point a Point Horror book. If not, it really looks like one, so just count it, please. This is Richie Tankersley Kuzik's Overdue. The library was as silent as the grave. Oh no. Very, very scary. Very scary. It's not that scary, but it's a YA book. It's not going to scare me. Read-a-thon prompt number 7. Teen Witch. Read a book with magic, magical elements, magical items, wizards, sorcerers, witches, cursed objects, or occult/supernatural elements. Publishing year does not matter. This one I'm going to be reading Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And this one's all about been there, done that. I'm pretty sure that this is all about Sabrina going back in time to meet Benjamin Franklin. And I can't wait. That's so stupid. I love Sabrina the Teenage Witch. It's one of the greatest television shows ever made, especially because there's a cat that always is talking like, "Rawr! Salem the cat" is the best. I love Salem the cat. Next up, this is prompt number 8. Read any horror book published in the 1990s, or read a middle grade slash YA book published or set in the 90s, or book with a retro vibe. So for this one, I just learned that there's another reading event happening at the same time as Old School April, which is Trans Girl April, and celebrating and reading authors who are non-binary, trans men, and trans women. So I thought, what better way to incorporate that into this readathon than reading a Poppy Z. Bright book. If you don't know, Poppy Z. Bright is a trans man named Billy Martin. He still uses Poppy Z. Bright as like a stage name, so it's not a dead name. So he still publishes work under that name. So I was going through my thing and I was like, oh, Drawing Blood by Poppy Z. Bright. That was great. I want to read that book anyways. I've had that in my Audible library for ages. And lo and behold, not only is it eligible for this, but it's also Amy Noel's Reads her book recommendation. So I can actually get double prompts by reading that one. Two prompts. I don't know what is happening. I'm just losing my mind. Readathon prompt number 9. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Read a story/book with a female protagonist, or a book/story written by a woman. So for this one, I also wanted to make sure I was participating in Trans Girl April for that, because I want to read more romance, and there are a lot of awesome looking romances written by trans women. So I am going to choose a book called The Subtweet, which is by a woman from Calgary, actually, a trans woman from Calgary, which is a place in Canada I used to live. I cannot imagine that's an easy life, because Calgary has a lot of terrible people who get mad if you're vegetarian. So, more power to her. So I'm really happy to read this. I'm not going to... you will see on the video the author. I don't want to mispronounce her name, so I'm just putting that up there. And if you have a problem with that, in the immortal words of David Lynch, fix your hearts or die. Trans women are women. Fight me in the comments. Or don't, and just unsubscribe. Now we're on to the bonus replacement prompt. So this one you can do if you are just not feeling any of the other prompts. And that's just for like neon on the cover. Pretty easy to go. I didn't choose one for this because I already have a bajillion things for the other, so I don't really need a replacement. Now we are on to the Watch-a-thon. I'm just doing so many noises. I'm excited. Watch-a-thon prompt 1. Watch a Goosebumps episode. This will be hard for me. I don't like Goosebumps. I might do it. Watch-a-thon prompt 2. Watch any 80s horror movie. That's pretty easy. That's a pretty easy one. For these, I'm not even really planning these, so you're not going to get an example or anything from these, because I really like to just go by the seat of my pants for watch-a-thons. Watch-a-thon prompt number 3, watch an episode of any Nickelodeon show or watch a Nickelodeon movie. Now, I have asked Kelsi if I can replace this with things relevant to Canadians because I have no idea what was on Nickelodeon because we just didn't have it here. So I have chosen that I will be watching an episode of which is like a Canadian slime-based television show. That was very, very funny. And I remember watching it and enjoying it as a child. Prompt number 3. Watch a movie/TV show set in the 80s or 90s or a newer adaptation of an old school show, movie, or book. Watch-a-thon prompt 5. Mood watch anything from or set in 2003 or earlier or a show with a retro vibe or flair. Now, you know this bitch right here is going to be watching both Princess Diaries movies and the Lizzie McGuire movies for this because they're classic cinema. So my mood will be Lizzie McGuire. Next on Watch-a-thon prompt number 6. Watch an episode of any Disney Channel show or DCOM. What is a DCOM? It sounds like, again, now I'm worried. Is this a cult? Is this actually a cult? I'm not sure. Whatever a DCOM is, you can watch those as well. We didn't have the Disney Channel in Canada, so I'll figure out something to watch that has nothing to do. Although this one's not as difficult now because of the glory of Disney Plus, because Disney Plus will have all of these on there. So in reality, I could just go sit back and watch an episode of DuckTales. Woo! You have to. Every time you say DuckTales, woo! You have to make this noise. If you don't, you go to jail. Believe me. The DuckTales people, they'll take you out. Prompt number 7. Watch any 80s movie or TV show episode. Again, pretty easy. Watch-a-thon prompt 8. Watch any 90s horror movie. If you're ever stuck on 80s TV shows and you can't find anything on Netflix or blah, 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 just look up on YouTube. There's tons of them. And a lot of times they're actually legal. They're actually by whatever studio owns the rights. They just put them up on YouTube. So you can watch a lot of old 80s TV shows on the YouTubes that you're on. I don't know what is... I'm glitching out. This is what happens when you're a ghost. You just glitch out. And those are the prompts. So one of the other some of the bonus prompts, one of them involves reading or watching a host favorite. So Kelsi may have asked me to recommend movies when I was on wine. And when I'm on wine, I am weird. Because I chose the Crater Lake Monster. Oh, the Crater Lake Monster. An awful movie, but I love it so much. Everyone loves Crater Lake Monster. Except no one will. I cannot imagine anyone who watches Crater Lake Monster from this will enjoy it. The other one I chose was RoboCop 2. I mean, everyone loves the original RoboCop, but it's wild to choose RoboCop 2 for this. But hey, I did it. I'm a man of mystery. I love RoboCop 2. RoboCop 2 is great. That little child is such a little nightmare. You have all these uncanny valley of this creature with these weird early CGI faces. It's directed by Irvin Kershner. There's a story where a bunch of kids have a baseball bat just beat up RoboCop. It's wow. It's wild. It's great. I love it. So then there are tons of other bonus prompts to this. I couldn't find a listing of all of them. So just make sure you watch Kelsi's video because Kelsi will explain it all to you magnificently. And it will be very fun to explore what other ways you can participate in the thing. Because there's things like, nostalgic snacks, listening to nostalgic music, covering nostalgic music. You got watch parties, attending some of the watch parties we're going to do. There's cartoons, there's sending old photos. There's tons of stuff and tons of ways that you can kind of contribute. And again, what is nice about this is that a lot of the other events going on also have things that can apply to this event, right? So I just showed you Trans Girl April. There's a bunch of stuff that you can kind of roll into this event as well. So it's fun. It's fun. You get a lot of chances to make some cool stuff. So I would love to know if you're participating and what team you're going to be on. You should be on... What are we again? Blue Barracudas. I lived my life by the Blue Barracudas creed. That's why I knew and didn't forget. Blue Barracudas. You should be on them. Or you could be on Purple Parrots or Silver Snakes. I mean, if you want to. If you want to be on the winning team, yeah, you probably should. But if you want to be on a team that gives it their all but still fails, well, that's not fair. We have the Bookubus. And we have Elizabeth Stagewood. And we have Kelsi. Oh, I'm the weak link on the team. That's why we have 4. Everyone else has 3. They have 4. I'm the weak link. Okay, so my, like a group project in high school. No, actually, that's not accurate. I did all the work in group projects in high school. I was very uncool. Anyways, choose whatever team you want. And there's ways to kind of say if you finished or watched something. If you go on the Discord, there's a way to be like, hey, I watched this movie. And you just like post like a screenshot of you watching a movie, like at the end credits or whatever. And put that in whatever, because there's like on the Discord, there are team channels. So it's like, oh, the Silver Snakes, if you're going for them and you betrayed me and you hate me forever, you could just post the thing on there. And be like, oh, I watched Crater Lake Monster, which was Andrew's pick, but I watched it for you guys. And then I cry, go to therapy, which we should all do anyways. And then get on with my life. You can also, there's a way of doing it where you can just message on Instagram if you are not part of Discord. You don't like Discord. There's a lot of fun events. There's also 6 at April, which is going on Instagram, which is a whole bunch of photo prompts to do. Really look in my, the description, look at all the other people's videos on here. I'm sure I missed something. I did take notes. I had notes here, but I'm worried that I missed something. I'm sure I missed a bajillion stuff, and everyone's will be better than mine. Hope you guys had fun in visiting me in this haunted blockbuster. Good day. Good day. Goodbye. Bye.